I know your house is old. I know. I'm gonna no trespass on or at my house ever again. Okay.
Order is. We are going for lift off in T-30. Stand by for further instructions, Minnesota Black Rope Regiment. Secondary guidance systems engaged. Minnesota Black Rope Regiment, it will be on my mark. Minnesota Black Rope Regiment, you are over the target. You are authorized to fire at will.
Hey, everybody. Well, what's going on here? There we go. Oh, thanks for stopping by. I'm TC. This is mbrrmedia, and we are here for another installment on Justice for Hayven. I would ask that you guys share this out to all the platforms that you can. We need to get as many eyes on this as possible. This is going to be the last episode of Justice for Hayven, obviously, for 2025. We will hit the ground running in 2026 on numerous stories, but we will continue to tell the story about Hayven and her family. We're down to the wire, Heidi's here in the chat. She was, I don't know if she's still here, but we're down to the wire, and we need as much eyes on this as possible. They're in for a fight. Just no matter which way you look at it, they are in for a fight to get this poor baby Hayven home, and they deserve to have her home. And we're going to show why that is the case. I want to give a big shout out. You guys notice I don't have to scroll on the screen like normal right now. I am redoing my scroll. I'm going to be adding in channel members to the scroll as a way to say thanks to all of them for what they do. So if you like what I do, if you want to support the work and you can't do a super chat, or you prefer to do super chats, that's great. Or super thank yous if you're watching this on playback. Super stickers if you have, you just want to say thanks, but you don't have anything you want to say. That's awesome too. Memberships are great because they're consistent. We love to have those. But now, because I've had so many people ask, I'm also now doing Cash App. So you can do the $MBRR Media, $MBRR Media, and you can find that in the description of this video. But you can send support directly that way as well. But if you don't mind doing stuff through YouTube, it helps the algorithm, and that money goes either back into directly helping pay for StreamYard, helping to pay for content production, where I go in and I'm using software that I have to pay for that does audio isolation and things like that in those cases that are necessary. I have, well, what do we got here? Oh, well, thank you very much. I very much appreciate that, Jerry. That's awesome. Thank you. I've had people ask, how much do you charge to tell stories? And I started to ask some questions about, why is that? I don't charge people to tell their stories, folks. That's not who I am. And I was recently made aware that there are people out there spreading rumors that I have told people I wouldn't tell their story unless they paid me. I'm not a grifter, folks. Do I make a pitch for channel memberships or Cash App? Yeah, because I've had people say, "How can we support you? How can we help you keep doing what you do?" That's why I have shared that information. So you see, Jerry, just became a member, and we're very thankful for that. Thank you very much, Jerry. Also very thankful for all the other channel members, show producer level people that do all the work. That stuff's all very, very important. So we're going to get into the meat and the potatoes of what we do here, and that's we're going to demonstrate just how poorly the chief of police and his staff conducted themselves. We saw some of that in the last stream that we did, but we're going to start over from that, and we're going to take off from where we were the last time in this, and we are going to highlight the part where Heidi shows that she wants Audrey trespassed, and then from there we are going to play up until the point where Robbie, the giant mammoth of a man, comes in and violates the trespass order that Heidi gives here. But you'll see why I say that here in just a second, or in a few minutes. Once again, this is our body cam video of Charles. What you guys can't see on camera right now, but you can hear, is that there are EMTs, first responders on scene, medical professionals, that are assessing the baby, Hayven. What we do have proof of is that in the medical statement,
I want a no trespass order. I'll at my house ever again. Okay.
And that was what we saw in the short at the opening. I want a no trespass on Audrey. I don't want her in my house ever again. And the chief didn't even acknowledge it. So we do have documentation that shows that it was able. But remember, Robbie's already out in his squad car working on the paperwork. I also want to point out here too that I've had a lot of people who have messaged me, man, these guys really got screwed, but Heidi talks a lot, and Heidi knows we've joked about this. Yeah, she does, but I want you guys to pay attention what Heidi does here now. And I think you'll see it without me pointing it out. Yeah, this is the chief's body worn camera.
Unless she's upset, she wanna touch the call.
I also want to apologize ahead of time, folks. We are having some really, really high winds and a really bad winter storm moving in, so that might affect transmission.
No. Something that you ride is so fast. Jackson's good.
Does the clef, does she have any issues with heat? No.
Right away when she came out, like right when she was born, she latched onto the bottle, she latched onto me, and passed out.
It's just now that she's a little bit older, she prefers a certain type of
It's okay.
nipple, or not nipple, pacifier.
I've noticed every ounce that she drinks, I get some birth.
I'm not sure how it works on this. You guys been told how that works? Is it the opening and the flip of the mouth? Does that go into the sinus?
If it is big enough, yes. Hers is not.
It's not.
Yeah.
So,
Like her cleft is barely there on the inside.
is she gonna need surgery eventually?
Eventually, yes. Once she has gained enough weight, like
But that's the thing. They've done surgery on smaller babies.
I know that this is weird. Like they've done surgery on smaller babies. I don't know why they're
Take the in first. Leave the other one.
Once again, Heidi's received some critiques. Audrey being the biggest one that has critiqued Heidi. You know, she led with Heidi, you're the problem here. If you go back to the first videos that we did on this, but Heidi stepped out of the scene now. Heidi is no longer in the scene. She's not interjecting. She's letting mom and dad talk to the medical professionals here. Like, does this woman appear to you to be the problem? If she was this controlling monster who didn't care about Hayven, do you really think that she would have stepped out, you know, even if she's outside to have a cigarette, which, you know, God forbid that you exercise your freedoms. But if she steps out of her house to have a cigarette, does it really matter? It's just absolutely asinine that Audrey was as ballistic towards Heidi as she was, which is mentioned in the medical report that Audrey was very difficult to deal with. She was very demanding. And I'm going to try and find a way to get that screen grabbed up onto the channel for you guys to see that. But here she is completely abandoned, not abandoned in the negative sense, but she's abandoned any sense of being in control if she had one at all. And she's just letting the kids talk to these medical professionals here.
Oh, this is good. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
So this is normal age that they do with
the palate surgery, the full thing before they are a year old.
That's so that they don't.
Yeah.
So hers isn't very severe, right?
Hers is not very severe.
It's incomplete.
What's that?
It's incomplete, so it's not very severe at all.
Sounds like they're talking to the doctor. Sounds like they're talking to the doctor.
And what the chief says here, what Jose says is, so they're out there talking to the doctor. The doctor that they're talking to is the doctor that works in conjunction with the EMTs. So the medical staff of Exit, except for the one you see on screen right now, and they're out having a conversation with the doctor. And as we'll find out, the doctor says, stats are good. This baby's healthy. I'm not ordering that baby transported. They have no compelling argument to transport that baby based on what their doctor is saying. The only doctor that's made this demand that Audrey feels she's supposed to obey and that Robbie was suckered into believing had the authority to do it is a doctor that works at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, and is not even on scene to assess. They just made an assertion.
How heavy was she when she was born?
5'10". But no, what?
Yeah.
This is a 5 ounce bottle, so you have to put it on 5.
But you won't eat. It's not eating.
Yeah, did you hear what he said? But she won't eat. Listen to him again here.
Sounds like they're talking to the doctor.
So Heidi comes back in, and Trisket, Amish hairface, Trisket has something to say.
How heavy was she when she was born?
5'10".
Very important that we pay attention to
When
that.
Mayo wrote it down,
Incorrect.
what?
Yeah.
This is a 5 ounce bottle, so you have to put it on 5.
She won't eat. She's not eating. She's pregnant.
Yeah, but she won't eat. She's not eating. I wonder why, Trisket. I wonder why this baby doesn't want to eat right now. She's surrounded by strangers. She just got poked and prodded. She had a blood draw. She had everything you could imagine being checked, on scene checked. But now all of a sudden, she's supposed to be hungry and want to eat. That's the most asinine amount of conjuring of evidence I've ever heard in my life. You stupid. This is why the vast majority of people out there, except for bootlickers who absolutely just adore everything that every cop ever did and sees every cop as being the most intelligent person in the history of the world. But this is why most people think of social workers in particular, and pretty much anybody else in government, as the dumbest people in the history of the world. This guy could not connect 2 wires if their ends were color coded and it said connect here. He's incapable of drawing any kind of conclusions outside of what he's there for, and that's to kidnap this baby. This dude is so stupid, all he can come up with is a reason to kidnap this baby after this baby's been traumatized by all these strangers, poked and prodded. His is, and look, she won't eat. Well, duh, you moron. I hope to hell this guy never has children. Never. I mean, okay, let's be honest. Looking at him, he's never going to find somebody that's willingly going to reproduce with him. I mean, let's just, like, this dude's never going to find anybody that's going to willingly reproduce with him. And what do you do for a living? I'm a social worker. Oh. I'm going to go find a plumber.
Did you put your breast milk in the fridge?
Yeah. That's 6 ounces. Well, I did 6 ounces.
I know. Did you use
I knew it was getting full, so I was like,
Well, you were leaking.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Did you change your diaper?
Yeah.
Yes, for those of you in warmer southern climates who think Minnesota is just cold all the time, it gets very hot, and what you hear kicking in there in the background is the air conditioning.
Is it better? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is she eating? Trisket? Oh. Looks like she's eating.
So she measured at the WIC office, at the Winona County WIC office. So we went there. She was released from the hospital on Saturday. We went there Tuesday. We met with Jess, and she was 5 pounds, 5 ounces, and 18 inches long. So when we questioned Mayo about it, they're like, oh, well, all of our scales are different.
There's no way
Babies don't.
either.
Babies don't shrink. Like, they couldn't even stretch her past 18.
That's very
So-
true, Mercedes.
And even there, so like,
What did you
Pixie.
Mel said she was 20. Go get her green folder. 21 inches.
Oh, this is.
Yeah. Thanks. Did you have a vitamin today?
So this is for me.
So she was also a week early and they had an ultrasound. They did a little ultrasound Thursday and she was born on Tuesday. In the ultrasound on Thursday, she was 5 pounds, 10 ounces also. So if you go back and look at Kayla's medical records, Baby had problems in utero gaining weight. It had nothing to do with the cleft. Because guess what? You can't use the cleft in utero to eat. It was all the umbilical cord. So.
For other things.
Okay, this is coming inside.
The medical professional here, that's a heck of a mistake if that's a mistake, you know. Wonder what he's talking about.
So a lot of it is the OT was telling Kayla how to nurse the baby, when to nurse the baby, to do it this way, and she had 30 years of experience and blah, blah, blah. And Kayla finally just said, you know what, I am so confused, I've had enough, I'm gonna do it my way. And the baby gained a whole pound a week. So there's times when she'll take the bottle without those food discs. There's times that Kayla will just nurse her on one side and then later on pump. But they were trying to tell her to pump at the same time. Like, it was just, it's overwhelming. Like, yes, Kayla has a
If you're just stopping in, we're reviewing body cam footage of a medical kidnapping that took place this summer, this last July. Jerry, you said by that chief essentially ignoring a citizen's directive to trespass someone off their property. Would that be derelict? There's some discretion built into it, but it's very clear that Heidi wanted her trespassed, and she had every legal right to do so, and she had a legal right to demand it. And that's the biggest problem. And we're going to see that play out here very shortly. But yeah, we're watching a medical kidnapping and aided by badged tyrants and thugs.
special needs baby, but it doesn't mean she's completely special needs. Like, that's where they're crossing the line, is like, you know, and Kayla's not a very big person. She was never a big person as an infant herself. So when you look at genetics, you're gonna, and then they're like, oh, let's run genetic testing. Like, if you mention something, then they want to do more testing and more.
Which, by the way, genetic testing was run, and then the results of that were hidden from the family. Because the genetic testing, as I said in the last stream that we did on this, the genetic testing proved that the baby does have a condition that will cause her to gain weight very slowly, but that it's common in the genetic condition that she has, and that it's not life-threatening. But that was hidden from the family. And then because it was hidden, it was used as a method to kidnap this child.
Doctors and add more people to the list. You don't want to do that. Surgery there, once baby surgery stuff was done, they were transferring her medical care to a different facility. Because they don't. His cousin, you can look it up. Open heart surgery there. hours. So. So you're aware was vitamin D. Did you get that one today?
No, they have not gotten her back yet. I think the next hearing is just after the first of the year.
That's perfect.
Hey, supposed to. We're not gonna be able to be there at 10:30. We got a call right now. My phone number is 507-701-1205. You have questions. I'll send you an email to make sure that you get the message. Thanks.
What was that? Oh, she tried to take her Band-Aid? Told me I'm not good. So because Kayla has von Willebrand, they couldn't use forceps for vacuum during delivery, so she ended up having a C-section. Me and Katie weren't back there when they did the C-section, so we don't know the correct wordplay other than what we wrote down. But that's what we're trying to WIC office is like, well, 5'5" and only 18 inches long, which was one.
You can take her.
She tried to put it in her mouth. Yeah.
Okay.
She's raised all or just Is it bleeding stop?
Yeah.
I don't, because they were saying, oh, she's not doing this and she's not doing that.
Again.
Yeah, she was a week.
I know some of this seems really dry, but this is all because our out talking to medical staff are telling them, look, our doctor is not wanting to give, our doctor is not going to put a hold on this baby. There's no reason to put a hold on this poor child.
There should be one more.
One more. So you have 2, 4, and then 1, 5. And then the first one.
And I don't like, skipping much, at all, because I want people to be able to hear everything. If you want to be able to watch this without commentary and without any redactions, channel members can go and watch this right now. Until the series is done, they'll be able to watch from behind the paywall. They'll be able to watch the full body cam footage. We've also put the body cam footage out to a couple of platforms. So, all right. So here, this is very important. Now we're going to stop Jose's coverage here, and we're going to switch to Robbie's coverage. So, like I said, we're switching to Robbie's coverage here, and we'll get back to Jose's. Trust me. Now, remember, the first few seconds here, you're not going to hear any sound because he had his cam either off or muted this entire time that they were talking, which is just sleazy as hell. And you could see on the EMT's face here that she is, it's like, no, we're not doing that. If you want to do something, you're going to have to do it. Very important. Pay very close attention here. Now, I want you to listen to what Audrey says to Fat Cow Robbie. So Fat Cow Audrey says something to Fat Cow Robbie. And keep in mind, at the very beginning of this, at the end of the last stream, at the beginning of this stream, we did the short that showed that Heidi told the chief she wanted Audrey trespassed. Audrey was out of the house at the insistence of Heidi in the first place. Robbie even, said, look, I'll step in. I'll try and work this out. Heidi then tells the chief, remember, I keep emphasizing this because this is incredibly important, tells the chief, I don't want her on my property. I don't want her in my house ever again. I want her trespassed. Now listen very closely to the exchange that takes place here. Knowing that she's trespassed by the property owner, by the person who owns this house, who has responsibility for this house, listen to what takes place between these two wage slave sucking leeches.
You want me to just tell her?
Well, yeah, because apparently, unless you're going to tell them to let me in.
You're coming in.
You're coming in. She knows she's not supposed to go in. Listen to her again.
You want me to just tell her?
Well, yeah, because apparently, unless you're going to tell them to let me in.
You're coming in.
I want to make it perfectly clear. A cop does not have a right to tell somebody who's been trespassed that they're coming in. Okay? The cop cannot violate the demands of the homeowner in this situation. The cop has no authority to forcibly require this family to allow someone who's been trespassed into their house, even if there is no paperwork on file. Now, there couldn't possibly be paperwork on file because, one, the chief didn't even acknowledge Heidi's demand. That's the first one. Two, hadn't had a chance to fill any of it out because they're too busy trying to kidnap Hayven to do the right thing here. But even with that being said, the chief has a duty in this situation. Robbie has a duty in this situation. Heidi's already told Audrey, get out of my house. She's now told the chief, I don't want her back in. The chief had a duty in this situation to stop Audrey at the door and say, you are trespassed. You're not coming in. But this fat ass went ahead and pissed all over the natural rights of this family. We could go back and we could critique Heidi even letting him in the house in the first place, but the minute she told Audrey to get out, and the minute she said, I want her trespassed, all bets were off for Heidi. Or excuse me. When Heidi said those things, all bets are off for Audrey. At this point, the cop is aiding criminal behavior here. Do you understand? Just because you're working as a representative of the government doesn't mean that it's not criminal to enter someone's home when you've been told you're not allowed there. So not only is Robbie, but Jose, the chief of police of St. Charles, is aiding criminal behavior here. Aiding and abetting criminal behavior. If you don't think that's true, listen to this again.
just tell her.
Well, yeah, because apparently, unless you're
You're
going
going
to let me
to
in.
have to tell them to let me in. First of all, since when do cops take orders from social workers? 2, where's the oath keeper here? Where's the person who swore an oath to protect and defend our constitutional rights, our natural rights as they're enshrined in the Constitution? Where is the oath keeper in this situation? How about this? You know, the chief here is a retired veteran of the United States military. Does his oath mean nothing to him as a veteran of the United States military? Nothing? It doesn't mean anything to you. Jose? As a naturalized foreigner who's not even from the United States, who served proudly in the United States Air Guard, your oath, this country that you wanted to live in, this country, Jose, that you wanted to live in, that you wanted to be part of, this country that you fled to from your native land, whose military that you wanted to serve in. That oath that you took means that little to you, you worthless pig? That you wouldn't even do the right thing in this situation and tell your subordinate officer that Heidi trespassed Audrey? No, because you're all in on it together.
Okay, Heidi.
Do you hear him say anything? Hey, you're not allowed in here, Audrey? Nope, nothing. Got to be busy defending her. Got to be busy aiding and abetting her criminal behavior.
This is my decision under also the directive of the doctor.
Completely deceptive here. This is my decision also under the directive of the doctor. Which doctor? Doctor that you hasn't been on scene this day. After the doctor for the medical team said there was no cause to transport. The Mayo Clinic doctor who's not there that day somehow takes precedence over the doctor who was on the phone with the medical team that was there that day. This is collusion and corruption at its highest. And this was a deceptive comment by this piece of crap. Under the direction of the doctor.
I am going to place the baby on a hold to go be up to St. Mary's to be seen at the emergency department. Kayla and the baby will ride with the ambulance. I'm coming with as well. Okay. I'm going to ride with, make sure that we get there. You, Caden, you guys come up and be up there.
I'm going to make sure that we get there. What do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to like ambush the ambulance and kidnap their kidnapped child? I mean, this is what's wrong with so many people today that put on a badge, put on a gun, put on a taser, put on a uniform. The low IQ on this guy, the implication that he's putting out there is that these people are criminal. He's flat out lied, which of course we know the courts protect cops when they lie. He's flat out lied and said, based on the doctor, and wait till we do our next stream where we get to listen to this guy move around, like get out of his car and move around and, you know, have to climb more than like a half a step.
With them as well, and follow up behind. That's going to be my directive. Okay.
And you've heard the vitals?
I've heard it, been under with them, and I'll also take that into, my, what I have. They'll also have their report as well.
Didn't even find words.
Okay. So I get what they're saying, but I'm going to follow what this doctor is saying.
And
Their motto.
And we're not trying to argue with anybody.
Yep.
But we just have people that won't listen.
Yep.
And then people walking into
No, Heidi, you are trying to argue with them. Absolutely. Hey, Forest Mommy's here. Hello, Forest Mommy. I have not seen you in ages. Did you get kicked off of X? You better not have. I will raise a ruckus. But she's over here going, we're not trying to argue. No, you are trying to argue. You are trying to argue, which is a legitimate argument. You're allowed to argument. To argument? See, I'm all flustered because Forest Mommy's here. Forest Mommy gets me all flustered. She knows that. If you guys haven't, Forest Mommy has been on the show. She was an amazing guest. So she's one of my go-tos for libertarian thought and content. So, but yeah, anyway, welcome, Forest Mommy. I'm glad that you're here. Anyway, no, you are there to argue, Heidi. You, like literally, it's okay. You don't need to say we're not trying to argue. No, you are trying to argue. Like arguing is good. Questioning these people is phenomenal. You should be pushing back. And I'm glad that at this point you are now pushing back more. I wish you'd push back at the beginning, before you ever let him in the house. You know that. We've talked about it. But yes, argue and push back. And because it's our natural right to push back against badged thug lard asses who the only thing that they stop for on the highway is a buffet. When Robbie gets out of his car in the parking lot of the local pizza ranch, the staff trembles. They tremble. They just tremble. And we put pictures of him up, folks. This guy is a disgrace to anybody that's ever put on a uniform. Yeah, I am fat shaming public servants, and I will do it every day, all day long. So yeah, we're gonna listen to a little bit more of this.
house, assuming things and that, I'm just over this.
Yep. I get what you're saying, Heidi.
But I can guarantee you that there's two different health things.
Okay. And that's your prerogative that you can do that.
And I think Kayla needs to go to the doctor that she had.
Yep.
That's my personal opinion because, like I was just explaining to him, she was a week old. Baby was small. We went to the WIC office that Tuesday. She wasn't even a week old, and she was 5 pounds, 5 ounces, and measuring 18 inches long. And they couldn't even stretch her past 18.
Okay.
So how do you go from 21 inches long to 18? You don't shrink. There was a huge mistake made.
Yeah.
Just like. We had to form her ears. Let me show you what they've had us do to this baby. Like, this is ridiculous. And take them to her ears.
That's good.
That's cosmetic. Yeah.
You have a baby. You can bring with. You have formula or any other.
All of what you're hearing there, all that crying, that is all the
it.
fault of social workers and the cops.
Definitely got a set of lungs on her.
I know. You got woke up. I know. You don't want it. No. You're mad. Okay. Hey, did you talk to everybody?
How long, Heidi, after the birth was she in the hospital for?
She was we were in Tuesday until Saturday.
And keep in mind, Audrey told Heidi to shut up earlier. Literally told, the social worker told Grandma to shut up in her own house. And now the cop wants Heidi to talk.
Tuesdays and Saturday.
Okay. Do you think, because they want to do like a tube they've talked about,
So,
right? Or what's
they have threatened Kayla with this YouTube since the beginning.
okay.
But she didn't qualify for an AM because her cleft is infected. You know, like we've explained to them, Kayla has C6. Oh, let's do genetic testing. Kayla doesn't want the genetic testing done at Mayo. So she would like the genetic testing done with the doctors that she had it done with. Like, they don't understand that. Every time we turn around, they want to add a different doctor or a different team member. They bring, like, the one day we went up there, they had 15 freaking people in the room. And Julie's like, pull your tit out so we can watch you resting. And Kayla's like, no.
Okay. Who's the doctor that she wants to? Do you mind me asking? Is it through?
I'm not going to say. It's through a different facility.
Okay.
But Kayla has chromosome duplication 16p.11.2. All that means is she has an extra gene. And she's.
Does that sound like a grandma who doesn't know what's going on? I mean, they treat her like she's a moron. They treat her like she's a pain in the ass. They treat her like she's a problem. But does that sound like a grandma who doesn't know what's going on? Because she knows an awful lot about her kids' genetics. Because she's involved and she cares. You know what I mean? She's involved and she cares.
A smaller size kid. Like, she has smaller organs. She does have a heart condition. She has von Willebrand. Hayven, there was a echocardiogram done on both Hayven and Kayla. Not once, but it was done at both hospitals because Kayla started out at Gunderson. And they did all that testing at Gunderson. And then they had it done again at Mayo.
Okay.
So they've had double testing on everything since baby was in utero.
Okay.
Baby did struggle to gain weight in utero, but Kayla's also, a very small person. Like, she doesn't get full on a Happy Meal. Like,
You ready?
you can take the diaper bag. And
Kaylin, this will be your guys' copy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, look, Oathbreaker Jose.
Is that Kayla's?
Yeah. Just gonna get that back. We're just gonna bring it for this.
I don't know. Her stuff is there.
That's why we're bringing it, so they can put their records. So.
Well, they have that on file. That's where she was born.
Are you okay with us bringing this along?
I wouldn't bring that with. They have that all on file.
I mean, she can make that decision.
But that's all on file.
Stay out of it, Jose. It's between her and her daughter.
I mean, they have this. She was born there, so it was all on file.
No, I didn't have.
Shut up, Audrey. You were trespassed.
You want to bring that bottle with? Anything else?
Yeah.
What you're watching here, folks, right now, what you're seeing right here, if you're not aware, what you are seeing in this moment is a clear-cut case of medical kidnapping. This was all worked out beforehand. The EMTs didn't give them the information they wanted. The doctor that works with the EMTs didn't give them.
If you want to bring that up, Heidi, you can do that as well.
But they went ahead and kidnapped this baby.
Marcy?
Where's your car seat at? I'm going to take that, give that to the ambulance.
I'm going to take that and give that to the ambulance. Like, did you hear how he said this?
I'm going to take that, give that to the ambulance.
I'm going to give that to the ambulance.
No, we got it. Already set up. You do get it set up? Okay. Denver bag. Okay. We have our own special.
Hold on.
Right here in the background is Audrey, who shouldn't be there at all. She shouldn't be in there. She was trespassed.
I told him to put that in the pump.
You ready?
What's the color?
Oh, hey. Excuse me, but I figured out what's going on.
these.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're gonna leak.
I hate it.
I can carry this one as well. And I'm gonna ride up with them. Okay.
I was 15 almost 78. Plus the whole group of
See you up there. Jarrell, I'm gonna park in that parking lot quick.
Okay.
You guys pick me up over there.
This,
Right up there.
Okay.
You can pick me up there and then I'll hop in with you guys. Okay.
You hear that? You hear that, guy? We're gonna stop sharing, and we're just gonna get we're just gonna have a little bit of a conversation here as we begin to wrap up this, because this is you're lucky. This is a double header. Immediately after I finish this episode, we're going to be tossing over to another episode. It's going to be this season 4 season finale of Libertarian Lowdown, and I'm going to be breaking down a segment of my conversation with Connie, the Mega Patriot. And we're going to be doing breaking down the bootlicking for the final episode of the season, for season 4 episode. Finale episode. But we're going to just talk a little bit here. Like, I know that I'm abrasive when I talk about these people. I get it. I know it's abrasive. I say some really harsh, mean things about these public servants. Public servants, for the most part, deserve to have harsh, mean things said about them when they do things that are harsh and mean and dangerously unlawful. And we'll finish watching dash cam or body cam on the next stream. I think for Robbie, we're probably going to do, and then we'll watch a little bit more from the chief and another stream. And then I'm going to be bringing Caden and Kaylin on. That's mom and dad. I'm going to be bringing them on, and we're going to be doing a show. And I got a little mini documentary that I'm putting together of their life with their with Hayven. I'm trying to get that put together as soon as possible because I want to put it out before their next court hearing. But what you saw in this video is a case of 2 law enforcement officers who clearly violated the natural rights of the property owner here, Heidi, and refused to issue the trespass, and then refused to honor the trespass, going so far as to actually aid and abet the violation of the trespass by ordering. That's what it was. It was an order. Robbie ordered that she was coming in. And the chief just stood back, knowing that she wasn't wanted in there, knowing that a trespass had been given verbally to him after she had been verbally told to get out of the house. The chief aided that. Folks, cops do not have the authority to allow somebody else to come into your house once you've kicked them out. You have to understand this. Wrap your mind around all of this. Set aside all of the mistakes that Heidi made at the beginning by letting them in. Set aside all of that. Forget all of that. Forget the fact, as Sarah's saying, how disgraceful it is that he's breathing so heavy just walking down a set of stairs, a short set of stairs. Set aside the fact that he's a leech on the tit of the taxpaying wage slave tax cattle. Set aside all of that. This cop, in conjunction with his supervisor, his chief, ignored the property owner who said, I don't want her here ever again. And then brought her in violation of that. That's aiding a crime. Audrey was trespassing. And everybody seems to be okay with that. You should see some of the heat that I've gotten in private messages from anonymous, accounts, who then quickly block me after I, respond. The terrible things that they have said about this family, which the family's heard, they know that there are people out there talking crap about them. This is what's wrong with our society, folks, and that's what the doubleheader is all about. The second part of the doubleheader is going to be all about what's really wrong with our society. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. The way that people will immediately assume the worst of the people who are accused, the people that are actually the victims. They'll assume the worst because someone with a badge, somebody from the government shows up and said, this is what we're doing, therefore it must be okay, right? Because the government would never do anything to hurt somebody, right? Government would never violate your rights, right? I mean, what was this country fought for? What was the war that was fought in 1776? What was that fought for? Was that because Great Britain, the British Empire, was just the most loving and generous and magnanimous empire that ever was, and they treated the colonists well? Is that what it was about? I mean, what was the Bill of Rights about? What was the entire Constitution about? What did it matter? If government's good and can be trusted, then why did our founders find it necessary to not restrict the people, but to restrict government? But here we sit, nearly 250 years later, and we're in worse condition. Right now, I'm sorry, folks, you may not like it, but cops are the redcoats of today. Government is corrupt. It is the worst thing. The United States government, from the feds to the state to the county to your city municipalities, for the most part, they are more corrupt than anything that Great Britain was doing leading up to 1776. But now they have all the power, and they have you all beaten into submission, into thinking that if the government says it, it must be okay, or I must do it. That should terrify you. That's where you find yourself. And I'm not directing that to the people in the audience. I'm not directing that to the people who come back and watch and share this out. People, thanks for being here. I love it. Love having you here. You're lucky we're about to toss over to another show, my doubleheader. I haven't done a doubleheader in a very long time. Government is corrupt, and they pick on the people they think are the weakest and easiest to get around. And that's what they did when they went after Caden and Kaylin. That's what they did when they went after Heidi, trying to make Heidi the problem in this situation. Folks, please, so what I've got this set up to do, this is going to redirect to the very next stream. You guys are going to love what I'm going to do by breaking down my very brief section of the video with Connie, my hater. You're going to love what I do there. By the way, folks, I have a really exciting tomorrow night, this old man's going to stay up a little past his bedtime. Tomorrow night, I've got an appearance on the 5 till midnight show with, oh gosh, let's see, who all's the 5 hosts of 5 till midnight. So we've got here 5 people from X, the real typo, Adam Nutter and Ill Scholar and Keep It Real, and Kyle from I want to make sure I say it perfectly right. Well, anyway, I'm on with Kyle. I was going to mess it up, so I can't say the last name. But I had Kyle on. He's a guitarist for a very edgy rock band, but they have a podcast called 5 till midnight, and I'm on with them tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. They asked me to come on. We're going to talk current events and a little bit about my career and how I ended up where I am. Folks, please go through with this playlist and watch it all and share it out and see. Like we've established the facts here. St. Charles PD, Robbie Flaherty, Trisket, Amish Hairface, social worker, and Audrey, social worker. By the way, they're all clearly leeches on the tit of the wage slave tax cattle. Look at how they're built. They're not protecting and serving. They did nothing. They're not helping Hayven. They're just terrible people. And they need to know that they're terrible people. So like I said, folks, get ready, because from here, we're tossing right over to the next stream, and we're going to do a little commentary on bootlickers and what you are and are not allowed to do when interacting and watching law enforcement, especially as a bystander. So I hope that you will go along for the ride, if you will, for the next episode. And then check us out tomorrow night on 5 till midnight. I might even be streaming it on my channel. So once again, thanks to all the channel members, subscribers. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. And until next time, my friends, fight for your freedom, it is yours. Fight for your liberty, it belongs to you. In Sic Semper, Tyrannus.
We are going for liftoff in T-30. Stand by for further instructions, Minnesota Black Robe Regiment.
Secondary guidance systems engaged.
Minnesota Black Robe Regiment, it will be on my mark.
All systems are a go. All systems are a go.
Minnesota Black Robe Regiment, you are over the target. You are authorized to fire at